Testing. Hold on, y'all. Let me check. I have to do it on my phone, and I'm gonna start having my iPad out here because we need to get heavy. Okay, we're live. We're live. I be looking at the computer when I should be looking up here because that's where the camera is at. Y'all, when you get on here, use the chat. Okay, I worked very hard to get the chat to work, so I just want to make sure it worked and everything like that. Okay, period. Today we are talking about propaganda that we are falling for. The last video we did Monday, we did propaganda we're not falling for. Today we're gonna follow up while I'm making sure everything is working. I have to make sure everything is working. I have to, you know how I do. But let me tell you, I got the program. The program is gonna be a little smaller, but we got it up here so we can see the chat. I was playing around with that, and I was just like, what all we gotta do? But we figured it out. You know, it's the summer. It ain't like I got nothing else to do. So I got plenty of time to figure out how to work the chat. Okay. So, I already have it to where people can't say certain things or whatever, just as a precaution or whatever. But I thought that the chat was supposed to just be on the screen already. I didn't know there was extra work on my end, right? I thought it was just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to hit record and keep it pushing. That's all I'm really trying to do. Not too much, but we got it working. So you can I just put some stuff in the chat just to see if it was working, just to see what it would look like. So today we're talking about propaganda. And we're going to be covering all the niches or whatever. So soft life, self-prioritization, love, life, everything. So I had to make my program a little smaller. So we're doing the check-in. I forgot to put the chess piece over here. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into soft life and self-prioritization. And I feel like everything is going to be loaded. I'm going to do my best to not be on here all day. But for soft life, I am in alignment. Okay, I'm gonna say that because I don't feel like this is propaganda. I don't feel like it's propaganda. I feel like this is just, and I don't feel like it's trendy. I don't know. I just feel like I am in alignment with these belief systems. Okay, the first one being soft life. I am very much in alignment with soft life. I feel like soft life looks different for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And everybody has a different path that they take to get towards their soft life, right? But I'm all for it. Maximum money, minimal effort is what I would define soft life as, going with the flow. I don't do that in relationships, but as far as like attracting abundance and just your day-to-day, like ease, and I don't want to be suffering for the rest of my life. I feel like I've done what I needed to do as far as the suffering part, and I would really, really like to be on board with the soft life. My specific goals for soft life: if I could work from home, if I could work for myself, or if I could just be a stay-at-home wife. I'm not really sure about having the children just yet, but because I want to enjoy a little bit of that freedom before, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, when you get married, you have kids, they come right away. And I would just like to enjoy some of that bliss, that marital or just bliss, and before I add an extra, responsibility into my life, so that's why I say stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home dog wife. That's why I'm, because I'm taking care of my dog, and so we just need to find her a dad, right? Or the dad needs to find us, or whatever, whatever. But I would just like to, what I define soft life is like I wake up in the morning, I don't have an alarm. I don't really want to have an alarm. Right now, even though it's summertime, I'm still getting up with the alarm. But I would appreciate if I didn't have to I wake up when the sun come out. You know what I mean? And I just, in the morning, we have our green juices, and then we go and take a walk with our dog. Okay, walk around, have some coffee, get on the computer, start working, getting our day to day, just enjoying the vibes, go to the park. go to Pilates. I don't really want to go to, that sounds, I want to go, if I was at home, I would go to that, it's like this exercise that you can do is aerial yoga. I would do that. I would be floating around in the sky. That's what I would like to do. And then after that, I would have lunch, right? Maybe walk my dog to the park again, go to the mall, do some errands. Just listen. When I quit my job that first time, I was spending my days at TJ Maxx. I was enjoying my time. I was really, really enjoying my time. I was going to TJ Maxx. I was going to Burlington. Like, I was enjoying my life. I really was. I was calling people like, hey, how are you? What are you doing? And they're like, girl, I'm at work. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm at TJ Maxx. Like, I was already like enjoying that. I was like, why can't that go on forever? Right? So when I think of soft life, that's what just the ease of the day, like nobody clock watching my time. So I support that. Going to the spa, getting a massage, looking good, getting a wax, like having my nails done, my hair done. Like, that is what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm not really trying to, punch in and punch out. That's just not, I don't feel like God wants that for me. And so I am in alignment with Black women doing that. Whatever you want to do. And I don't judge anybody. I don't judge anybody. Whatever you choose to do with your life, that's what you choose to do with your life. That's what you believe in. That's what you hold dear to you, right? So, it's up to you. It's up to you. Okay? So, still in soft life, it's just more about romanticizing your life, being the main character in your life, not saying you're the most important person or like you don't want to be narcissistic vibes or anything, but just like enjoying your life. I feel like a lot of times we wake up and we do things and we're not really living. We get up, we go to work, and that is our routine. But having your own routine when nobody is like, I don't want nobody clock watching me. I don't want nobody asking me. I don't like the thing about I don't like that I'm supposed to be somewhere at a specific time. Like, that really bothers me. That really bothers me. If I had full control of my time, I feel like I would be able to get so much done. Okay. I don't know. I just feel like maximum effort, and coming from prioritizing money over time and work and I just feel like now time is much more important than money to me. But we do need money because if you have the money, you can do what you want to do with the time, if that makes sense, right? Anyway, moving on. And then also, like, with the soft life, with the joy, I have to look at my notes, make sure I'm not going crazy. Anyway, we don't have to explain ourselves, because I feel like as a collective, African American women are really just laying it down, laying those burdens down, okay, laying down their crosses that they have to bear. And, everybody is up in arms, but it's just kind of like, we don't have to explain that. We don't have to, like, this is a safe space. Like, if you choose to not want to do nothing because you've done so much already, and even if you didn't, like, girl, it's nobody's business, but like, you need to prioritize yourself, and you need to really, like, this is your thing. This is your thing. This is what you believe in. Like, this is it. Okay. No guilt, no boundaries, like having your boundaries, but not buying into the guilt, because people definitely try to make you feel guilty for wanting the things that you want, So anyway, moving on to love. And I don't have my chess piece. But the one I wanted to touch on was, you're never too old to find aligned love. I feel like I touched on this in my last video. We talked about the fact that, as we're getting older, we feel like we have these different milestones that we have to hit, and if you don't hit it right at that time, you feel some type of way, right? You feel some type of way, like, oh my God, I don't have the house yet, I don't have the stable or my it career, I'm not married, I don't have kids, and so things are not happening in the time in which we feel like we need to, right? So a lot of this is gonna hit with age. I'm I'm redefining, or I am falling for, like, it's never too late. Like, some people, I don't know, like, growing up, we just had a lot of programming from TV and even our music that you had to hit and get everything done within a specific time. And I think that's based off the fact that our parents and our grandparents, they did things really, really young, but now we don't have to, you know. We don't have to get married so young, and we don't have, like, we have that time to really find ourselves before we are tied down in a relationship. So I'm really, really happy about that. Okay. Never too old to find aligned love. I feel like as you get older, you're not looking for trivial things. Like, you're looking for things that really, really matter. Like, it's not about clout anymore. It's not about what all he can do and because you can do that stuff for yourself. So if I can do it for myself, then what exactly, you know, we're not saying what you here for, but what are you here for? So it's just kind of like, you know, as you get older, you mature in relationships. You're not as wild and having too much fun, right? Because you have, you know, your whole life ahead of you. Like, you start to understand, like, you can't be out here reckless in these streets and stuff. So it's just like, all of that comes into play when you talk about never too old to find aligned love. But then also, as I'm getting older, it's just kind of like, you don't need, and we talked about it in our last video, you don't need a man to complete you, right? I have been single for the better part of 3 years, and I would say I've been single for a minute, because was it really, like, I'm very much on my Mariah Carey, like, did it happen? I don't think so, right? But anyway, I enjoy my time and my space alone. I've learned so much about myself, and what matters most to me in relationships, and I'm not willing to sacrifice the peace that I have, you know, created. And you know, I'm not going to sacrifice that for just to be saying I'm in a relationship, or just to call somebody a husband or anything like that. You know, I am not. And that's something that also I have to keep in mind. You know, as I'm getting older, I feel like the men, their lights are on. Right? Their lights are on. And so there's this theory that oftentimes men don't necessarily marry because they actually like you. They marry you because their light is on. And I do not want to be the light was on wife. I mean, I would like for him to have the light on, but it's just, I don't want that to be the definitive factor of why we're together and why we're married. You know, he just married whoever was there at that time, right? I don't want that. And so I'm willing to go even further in just waiting. I'm comfortable with waiting until I have, not saying that we're waiting for perfection, but I really have become accustomed to being by myself. And I feel like we're on social media, they always try to say that women, you're lonely. You're going to be lonely for the rest of your life. I don't know. I kind of like it. Don't threaten me with a good time, honey. Don't do it. Don't do it to get south. Don't do it to get south. Woo. But anyway, so, you know, I just want to date intentionally, right? We're dating intentionally. We're not desperate. We have our standards, you know, and then also learning what it means to be courted in a relationship. Like, courting and dating, like, we're not doing the situationships. Like, we have grown out of that. Like, if you're not effective, efficient communicator, and I like problem solvers. You know, I really like, I've been making my list of different things that I like in a man, and problem solving is very up there. It's top tier, because here's the thing. I solve problems all the time. Like, we figured out this chat thing. We figured out the chat thing. We figured out this. We figured out that. Like, we're getting all of these moving parts together. The way my brain works is very much problem solving. So if he could solve a problem, you know what I mean? That would be great. I would really appreciate somebody's brain that was able to solve problems, you know, think outside of the box, you know, different. Those are the things that I value, like things I didn't know that that you need until you need it. Like, something happened and then boom, you're like, actually, I need somebody that's like this, because, you know what I mean? So it's just like, every time I'm in a situation, I just add stuff to the list that I didn't think about I hadn't considered that, and we need to just go ahead and add that. Let me see if I have a couple of things that I be putting on my list. I know problem solving, and I would really appreciate, because I'm 5 feet, if I could have someone that is taller than me to like reach up for stuff, because I'm always getting on the stool, and I think that's important. I ain't gonna say I have a long list, but I definitely have, like, I like men who are useful. They have to be active, hardworking. When I say useful, I mean, like, could you think of something that I like to brainstorm, to solve problems. Like, could you think of something? Like, what you doing? Like, if you come to a man with a problem and he asking you, where he telling you, I hope you figure it out. That is not him. Because if I have to call my dad, my dad is never going to let me live that down, one. And then two, I'm not going to live it down, because I'm going to be like, you know what? No, that's not the one for me. That's not the one, So yeah, it's important for me to be in a relationship that I actually like the person. I don't want to be in a relationship where it's like you see on TV, those loveless marriages. Like, I actually want to like the person. I want us to actually be friends and really have good dialogue and stuff like that. So that matters, because if you think that I'm going to be sitting over there across the table from somebody that get on my nerves for the rest of my life, it's not going to happen. It is not. One of us is not going to make it. I'm telling you, I think I'm going to make it, but I don't know if he is, because I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I'm not going to do it to myself. I'm not going to torture myself. I'd rather just be by myself. Anyway, moving on. I wish I had my chess piece so I could tell y'all. But anyway, the next one I'm going to say, being allowed to dream big. Like, it's never too late to learn, grow, and evolve. Okay. And so this one is really loaded, because I wanted to talk about passion projects, but also self-improvement, but I didn't have enough room and space on this little program. I got to start being short. So as far as like, I want to talk about you're never too old to like grow and evolve. Something that is very important to me is breaking generational curses, especially in the realms of health and wellness. In my family, diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, high blood pressure, like all of that stuff run in the family. It really does. And so I have been obsessed with trying to stay healthy. Even if I used to do fad diets in the past, I am like, right now we're kind of like vegetarian, vegan a little bit, but if you have some meat, I'm not going to turn it down. But I don't be around the meat all the time. Like, we're trying to do something sustainable, because y'all, we're getting up there in age. When I visited my mom, like, dang, we got to take care of our parents now. Our parents took care of their parents. Now we got to take care of our parents. And seeing, like, this stuff running your family, and then to see, decisions that are being made, you have the choice to choose a different path. Everybody gonna choose what they want. I've learned in my family that emotional eating is a everybody thing. Everybody emotionally eats. Everybody, because and then the thing is, not recognizing that emotional eating is like a disorder and an addiction. You know what I'm saying? I hope we can say that on here. We live. But like, that is the only thing that they had at the time. And so that, like, some people are addicted to like alcohol and all these other things, but being addicted to food and eating when you feel sad, you know what I mean? Instead of eating for nutrition. Not saying, because I love some chocolate, okay? I have been tearing up all the chocolate, but it's just like self-control. We have to have self-control, and we have to, break these cycles within the family. And that starts by making our own choices of being healthy. So that's why I be obsessed with it a little bit, because I just don't want to deal with none of the problems, y'all. I want to have a long, healthy life, right? I'm 31 and I want to be active. I don't want to just be laying around. And, I see people and their grandparents are like up and at 'em. My grandma is going out the country. She's having a wonderful time. And that's what I would really appreciate. Like, I really want to make sure we're doing it. And then also having a healthy lifestyle for my kids whenever I have them, and my siblings, you know what I mean? And they kids and everything like that. So, breaking those cycles. So I'm all for that. Okay, let me make sure that I'm covering everything with health and wellness. The other part is, when we talk about health and wellness, going to therapy, making sure that we are emotionally doing what we're supposed to be doing for ourselves, like understanding what makes us tick. Why do we make the decisions that we make? Why do we choose the various things that we choose? Like, that is important. I will say that sometimes I feel like people might use therapy as a crutch, or even be like they go into therapy, but they really are not, doing the best. Like, it's a buzzword. It's a trend a little bit, but it's like, it's good to take care of yourself, but are you actually doing the work? And the only way that you'll find out whether or not you're actually doing the work is if you are showing improving. Like, as you interact with other people, are you a good person, right? Are you a good communicator? Not saying that people are going to be perfect just because they're in therapy, but it's just like, we're too old at our big ages to be talking to people the way we talk, interacting the way we interact. Like, there should be a better ground. And so I'm all for that as well. Moving past our pain and trauma, I do feel like, because like everybody has pain, everybody has trauma, so you can't use that as a reason for why you are like, you have to be getting the help, and you have to actually be, taking tangible steps to be a better person. So I'm all for mental wellness. Of course, I'm spiritual, so I'm all for the spirituality, but something I want to make sure that, spirituality is it's a tool. Like, everything is a tool. So we're not using the spirituality to see what we're eating for breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what we're doing. Like, we're trying to have spiritual development, spiritual enlightenment, and improving our lives, right? Another thing, since we on that, let's move to because I'm on this last one, to evolve. I like how our people, I'm talking about African Americans, we are really truly evolving in how we see the world and how we move and finagle. I don't feel like it's 100% perfect, but in anything, I feel like there will always be improvements. But I really like how we're moving, like the stuff with the Target. I like that. I like that we're all on code for, like, we're not going there. Like, we have all decided that we're not going there. We're not, and I'm not even like, I'm not going to say I'm not a political person. I feel like no matter who is in office, things will happen, right? And you have to protect yourselves regardless. Okay? I don't look for anyone to be my savior. I don't look for that. I don't look for anyone to be the face. Be quiet back there. Girl, I'm sorry. We live. I'm sorry, my dog. Anyway, she's been barking at the door all day. Anyway, so I don't feel like there's one person that is going to be like the new Martin Luther King or anything like that. I don't believe that. I believe that we all are collectively working toward a goal. You know what I'm saying? And we might be at different socioeconomic places in our lives, but we're all on code as far as Target and whatever else, and we're staying informed. But also, we're connected on social media, but we know what to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, we say what we need to say, and then we don't say because we know about the surveillance. We know all about all the other, you know what I'm saying? We know. And we don't have to communicate like that. We communicate telepathically, you know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, it is what it is. We're all on the same page. I'm for that. The collective energy, because if we can't say it, then we can show you better than we can say it. You know what I mean? And that's where I feel like we are as it relates as a people, right? And I'm super, super happy. And I just feel like collectively we're all, running the water clean. We're taking care of our families. We're righting the wrongs of the past, and we're just not going for the rah-rah. Okay, we're not. We're breaking the cycles, emotional, spiritual, and mental. We're breaking the bonds. We're doing all of that. Okay, so moving to self-improvement, I feel like whether you want to go back to school or do something that you are passionate, I'm a girl. I am going to always encourage you to do whatever you feel like you need to do for yourself. Okay? It does not matter how other people feel about it. I feel like if you need to, because I feel like back in the day, they held on to their jobs. The women held on to their families. They did what they felt like they needed to do so that, there could be something. And I feel like that's great. But through their sacrifice, we now have freedom to create our own lives. And we don't have to go with the status quo. The status quo. I don't know what I said, the status quo. Girl. Anyway, I feel like we can do our own thing. We're not married or attached to anything, and we have the support, so much support of not just our families and our, families and right here people, but people all over. We're so connected to everybody. We've never been more connected as a people. So you can find success doing whatever it is that you feel like you want to do. And I am a huge girl. If you want to find your inner child by doing the things that you wanted to do, I'm all for that. Do your passion, do your thing. And I feel like right now there's less judgment on that, But I feel like what we need to buy into a little bit more is authenticity, especially with, the use of AI and different things of that nature. People want to see real people, real conversations, really get into the meat and the potatoes. Because I feel like the reason we have such a loneliness epidemic, especially for the better part of the men, okay, is because we're not being honest and truthful with ourselves. And the things that we're asking of men, I don't know if they had the best teaching for that. Like, we're asking them to actually be a good human being, a good person, a good spouse, like a good friend, right? And so these are things that have never been asked before. And so now we have to, I don't want to say play catch up, but and then with us having the social media and different things of that nature and the sickness that was going around, we have lost that personal, being able to walk up and talk to somebody and different things of that nature, so we have the technology to bring us together, connect us, but we feel so, disconnected in our regular day lives because we've lost that person, that having a conversation, looking people in the eye. Hi, how are you? You know what I mean? I'm giving you my hand. We shaking hands now, giving people a hug. We don't touch people. We don't have that repertoire anymore. We don't have that, and so I feel like that is something that we need to do. We need to buy into being more, because they want us to have babies, but if we don't ever talk to nobody, how we gonna get there? Because we just not letting anybody in. Okay, we just not. Hold on, let me check my list. Okay. Also, you're never too young, you're never too old to learn new things. Here I am learning how to stream and add this chat and do all of these different things. You're never too old. You're never too old. Age is, I'm not going to say age is not a non-factor, but I just kind of feel like, we just thought we had to get everything done by a specific time because your life will be over. But you really, you got a long time to go. You have a long time. And then with that, with knowing that you have a long time to go, if you're not doing and being happy where you are, that is a long time to not be happy. So we need to do what we need to do to be happy right now because it starts right now. The other thing is happiness begins with you. I used to think that you would find the happiness when you did something else. If I got the degree, I would be happy. If I got this job, I would be happy. If I got this car, I would be happy. If I was dating this guy, I would be happy. And it wasn't giving because I was I signed up, but I didn't get what I thought I was going to get out of the situation, and I found that the happiness has to come within yourself, right? And I feel like we're doing a good job finding that, but literally the happiness, the joy, the fulfillment, all of these things come from within yourself. Amen. Yes, you have to already be happy, okay? Because when you are out here dating and doing everything, you're gonna meet and find people, right? Meet and find people that are on, like, water seeks at the same level. So you're gonna be meeting people that are your mirror, okay? Or lessons, because you still need to learn these lessons. You say you learned the lesson, but have you learned the lesson, right? So it's all of that. It's all of that. It goes into there, you know. Hold on. The other one, let me think. I think that's it, y'all. No, that's not it. I didn't know if I wanted to type this up. Okay, so I'm going for dating dating within the race. I know. I didn't want to say it, but I used to think that in order to get a better relationship that we had to move around. But I'm finding that we can find that same happiness within the community, right? And I love to see it. You know, I love to see it. I have always I'm a free spirit, right? So I like to but I'm finding more happiness in dating, and just seeing black couples, black girl, black men. Like, I really like that. I just think that it's so beautiful, you know, especially in this day and age. And I'm happy to see more marriages happening. Like, I don't know what Instagram is doing, but Instagram keeps showing me people getting married. I keep getting it. I keep seeing these couples on my social media. I think because they hear me talking, or the movies I watch Straw, and I watch what's that movie? Sinners. I watched that, but that's a little too much. I like to watch Lifetime Movie Network romantic comedy Hallmark movies. That's what I like to watch. I don't like to be in all that drama because it gives me heart palpitations. I watched Straw yesterday and I cried. I was like, oh my God. You know what? I would have did it. And I would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I support you. But why is it so sad? That movie made me cry. It really did. But anyway, we need to stop having so many trauma-based movies. I want happy movies. I want romantic comedy movies. Okay, I don't want no trauma, no problems in this dancery. Okay, period. I'm all supporting for where are the black romantic comedies. I love watching Brown Sugar. That is one of my favorite movies. It's not really the best romantic comedy because they were friends for the longest. They went together and then they destroyed their marriages for each other. They shouldn't be playing with people's feelings like that, but it's a good one. It's better than Love and Basketball, because Love and Basketball, I can't do that at all. But we need to have more beautiful, loving stories in the cinema. That's something that I'm going for as well. Let me think. But yeah, more black people getting married, absolutely. Having a family, beautiful brown babies running around. Yeah, I don't know if it's, but that's really what I'm on, y'all. That's what I'm on. So I'm proud of myself. It's 30 minutes. 30 minutes. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to say. Anything, because I feel like I touched on political. I touched on being healthy. I touched on taking up space, living for you and not other people. Yeah, I feel like I did it. So, yeah. Today is Friday. I don't know if it's a good day to stream on a Friday, but you know what? We got this video done quickly. So the chat is working. Something else I want to tell y'all is I got my photo shoot done, and so my pictures are up. As you can see, if you go to my channel thing, you can see my banner is fixed, my website is up, everything is everything, and I'm super, super happy. We'll probably talk about that next Monday as I'm looking and going through. I feel like right now I am in a season of being unapologetic. So I don't know, like I'm getting over that cringe factor, right? Getting over the cringe factor. And we are experimenting with our YouTube channel. Yeah, maybe when we get everything together, we'll do a long video on what we're doing with our channel, or like, did the science experiment work on the channel? But basically, yeah. Hold on, let me look at this. Okay, so when we do the chat, if it's a long message, it looks, can you see it? And hey girl, how you doing? Can you see your entire message on there? Cause it's cutting off. Yeah, it's cutting off. We're gonna fix that. Okay. Jane said, hello, I'm embracing ideas of financial freedom and living outside of the U.S. and not have, look, I like that one. Do you watch Stephanie Perry? Because she is a huge, okay, you can see it. Okay, she is such a wonderful, I'm gonna pop this chat out so I can see. Okay. All right. No, Stephanie Perry is a good resource. She does live streams and stuff too. And she talks about Black women leaving the country. Getting the financial freedom together and like moving to a different country and like living in that country. I was watching her videos. And so basically I have a lot of credit card debt, but if I get out of that credit card debt, you know, yeah. And some people are like, when they do the exchange rate and they go to different countries, they are making a lot, or they have a lot of money. And if you get like a remote job or something like a business that you can run from anywhere, you know, yeah, you can definitely do that. Definitely thinking about doing it, because I don't know about the student loan, you know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best. You know, I'm doing that. I'm trying to be fiscally responsible, but girl, yeah, I like that, the idea of financial freedom. But like, what countries though? Because I think she spends a lot of time, she talks about the Mexico, and it's just like the different countries and how they feel currently, like this political vibe. I feel like this is the best time to do it while, you know, you can. Yeah. How you feel about dating? They do. I'm not gonna lie. For the longest part, that's why I want to talk about it. For the longest part, I thought that I wanted to date out, and I was dating out, and I was very happy. I was very, very happy because I don't know what it is. I just feel much more appreciated. I don't have to talk about like a 50-50. Like I didn't, like there was this thing going around like 3-4 years ago about like different dates, and it was like a list of dates or whatever of places you could go, and this man was like questioning, I didn't know what he was doing, but he was asking me all these questions like of different places, and it was like, would I ever go bowling and all this other stuff for a first date, and I didn't understand what he was talking about, and I felt like the line of questioning, like, do I know how to ride a bike, like all these different things, and I don't know how to ride a bike. I'm not breaking my nails playing bowling, and I just didn't understand the line of questioning. And so when I told my friend, she showed me this list of places where and I'm like, girl, I'm trying to go out to eat. Like, I'm just trying to sit down and have a conversation. I'm not really trying to do anything like that. I'm not going and sweating my hair out and doing all of these different things on no first date. I want to sit down and have, and I'm not going no coffee either. I don't know nothing about that. And you know, it was on the apps. And it's like every time I would give one of us a try, I couldn't do it. I could. But you know what? I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to strike it out big and it's going to be good. I be trying to hold out hope. I be holding out hope or whatever. But yeah, I'm on the fence. I definitely understand. Because ain't nobody finna do all. I feel like you have to jump through so many hoops. And I just never had to jump through the hoops. Like, it's very simple. You're going out to eat. You're going to have a conversation. And you're going home. That's it. That's all. So, yeah. Yeah, girl. Like... Yeah. Oh, yeah. Today is Friday. Hold on. So, we are going to go ahead and end this one. If we don't have anything else to say, I'm super proud. We got the chat working, the audio's working, everything's working today. So, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you